So next example is dirty glass. I'm going to show you two types. Some regular glass with fingerprints, smudges and stuff like that. And dirty glass in windows. And all these little details around the window frame and the patches on the glass itself. Okay, you can see some dark dirt around the edges. And dusty, old, dirty looking glass. Okay, so let's start with this regular smudged glass with fingerprints. I have a simple glass modeled here, and we're gonna create a custom texture. Okay, I've downloaded some photos from cgtextures.com. Something that I think might be useful. And let's start with this one. Okay, let's say I like these details over here, so I'm gonna crop it. And reset my canvas to square by using the crop tool and shift plus dragging one rectangle down to make sure it's square. Okay, let's duplicate, pressing Ctrl J. Okay, like this. And merge them together. Then I want to get rid of the seams. Okay, I don't really need these sharp patches. I want these smudges. So I'm getting rid of all the sharp stuff. Okay. Now let's fix the seams around the perimeter by using the offset filter. And the central seam as well. Alright, so now what we have to do is make this map black and white. I'm just going to duplicate the layer just in case I mess something up and ruin this image. I can use the lower layer to redo that. So duplicate it just to be safe. And let's try bringing down the saturation and increasing the levels like this. So what I'm looking for is a black map with some white smudges on it. Okay, so something like this maybe. Okay, maybe let's add these smudges as well. Let's bring up the contrast. Desaturate. Actually, this might be more suited to the window than this one. So let's save it for later. Alright, let's add these prints here. So I'm just gonna copy it, paste over here, and rotate like this. And bring up the contrast. Okay, desaturate. And let's set the blending mode to lighten. So this way only the lightest stuff, the stuff that is lighter than the layer below it, will be seen. And we can delete these edges just to make sure it's nice and smooth. Okay. So let's save this texture for now. And set up our basic material. Okay, I'm gonna start with the standard V-Ray material. Set up a diffuse map as black. I mean the diffuse color, almost pure black. Make some bright reflections, turn the Fresnel on, slightly blur the reflections, and make it refractive to make it look like glass. Okay, I'm gonna enable affect shadows so I get transparent shadows as well. Alright, and finally let's add a slight noise map in the bump slot. Okay, let's set the size a bit smaller and let's set the amount to something very low, like 1. And let's see how it looks. And that's your pretty much standard basic clean glass material. And now let's make it dirtier. So you have two options here. You can create all sorts of maps for the diffuse, for the reflection glossiness, for the reflectivity, and get by with a single material, or you can go the easiest way and create a V-Ray blend material. So I'm just gonna go ahead and create the blend material, keep this one as submaterial, and copy it to the second slot as well. And for the second layer, let's look at the reference photos again. So since there is a slight layer of oily prints, smudges on the glass, the second layer looks much lighter, less refractive, and the refractions seem to be a bit blurred as well. And our reflections, I think, should be blurred too. So to do that, we're going to modify our coat material. Now first by increasing the diffuse color. Okay, and then let's lower the reflections a little bit and blur them a bit more. And as well as bring down the refractions. Maybe not that much, but something like this maybe. And let's slightly blur them as well. Okay. I think this might be a good coat. We'll just have to try it and see how it looks. Alright, and let's use our texture in the blend amount slot. So here we go. I want to see how it looks in my model. Alright, we can probably increase styling. Okay, like this. And you can see in the material preview already that you have these dirtier looking spots on your glass. So let's reduce the blur a little bit and render and see how it looks. Okay, so you can already see some lighter spots that look dirty, but they look pretty sharp and a bit unrealistic. So this means we must go back to Photoshop and fix our map. Okay, so let's do that. Let's go back. Okay, just one more look. Okay, and I'm just gonna go ahead and merge these layers together. Duplicate again, just to make sure I have a unmodified copy, which I can go back to if I need. And now I'm gonna use the smudge tool to actually smudge this texture. So something like a medium hardness brush. Maybe let's make it larger. And my strength is set to 25%. And just smudge it out, make sure there are no super crisp details anywhere. Make it all a bit blurry. Pay the most attention to these white areas with sharp edges. This is what you want to get rid of. You want to make the edges much softer and distorted. Okay. It's a good start, I think. And maybe let's add some fingerprints from our opened reference photos. I'm gonna take this one, copy it, and paste on top here. Just press Ctrl I to invert your image. Rotate it, position in place. Just gonna delete the sharp border. Okay, and scale it a bit larger. And set my blending mode to lighten. Let's make this brighter. And smudge them a little bit. Okay. Let's resave the file and see how it looks back in 3D Max. Right, let's go back. This area looks nice. Looks like the texture is upside down for some reason. Oh well, just fine, I think. Okay. Let's just flip this around. Just gonna go in my UV editor and move my UVs around a little bit till I get, okay. This looks like a good position. Let's leave it here. Okay, and render and see how it looks. Could probably be easier to see on a dark background. Let's try that. And we have this dirty glass effect going on here. So the effect is quite subtle, but that's exactly what you're looking for. Just these little details that add more realism to your scenes. I think it looks quite good. Okay, so that's basic glass with some smudges.